Long time no see, guys.
Hey, what's up?
It's been like 3 days.
Yeah. It's been like 3 days, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mentally prepared for this. Welcome to Vacant Wrestling Podcast. My name is Tyler. Joining us today on this special midweek edition of the pod is, as usual, our boys. First up, Emil. What's up?
Wow, I got introduced second for once. I didn't get to yap a lot last time.
Well, hopefully you make up for it this time, but don't say dumb shit. And also with us is our fave, Indie Mark, Japan Mark, Bullet Club Mark. It's Yusuf. What's up?
Your Bullet Club is not fine.
They're never fine anymore.
No,
they really need Dr. Shelby.
There.
Oh,
they need Dr. Shelby. Yeah,
Maybe.
I got that deep cut for you. Yeah, I got that deep cut.
Are you telling me that Bryan Danielson is going to be the new leader of Bullet Club?
Oh, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well,
that's
he
exactly
was.
what
He
I'm
is
saying.
part-time now, so.
You heard it here first.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
So this is coming to you midweek probably because Yusuf and I are out of town for the weekend when we normally record because, you know, on Sundays we talk wrestling, but not this week. It's happening on Wednesday.
I get to go it alone on Sunday.
If you ever do it. No, I'm playing.
I mean, that's fair.
So we're going to do something interesting because we never really get the opportunity to go super in-depth on Monday Night Raw and NXT. It's especially NXT. So we're gonna talk a little bit about both of those today. We talk about Raw, but we kind of heavy loaded with SmackDown the past couple weeks because the Bloodline stuff is cooking and Roman's back and that shit matters again.
Bloodline. Put up your ones.
Glazer.
Put up your ones.
Glazer. I would, but that's buying into the glaze.
That's the wrong hand symbol.
It's true.
Yes, it is.
They're not fine. You can't do that.
No, they're not.
First off, I just got to say, breaking news today. I believe it was today. I seem to have been late to the party. Oh, my lights are flashing. Cool. AJ Styles is injured for 1 year, approximately, due to the injury to his foot. I forget the name of the injury. It's a very interesting injury that happens with like the mid part of your foot. And that really sucks. He was just about to go on what we all are assuming to be a retirement tour of sorts. It probably would have cooked. It probably would have involved a Cena match at some point. It still might when he's back. Who knows? But yeah, we wish him all the best in his recovery. We hope that he can come back soon, if he can come back and finish his career the way he wants to finish it. So with that out of the way, let's get into Monday Night Raw a little bit because we had a second 2-hour Raw this week, and it was much better than last week for sure. Better pacing, less commercials. Yeah, more stories that were meaningful were told, and matches didn't have like 3 commercial breaks inside them. So, yeah. Except we're gonna start with Raw by talking about the fact that the Bloodline was there, and we were telling the Bloodline story.
Well,
because that crosses brands.
Well,
what's up?
Here, I mean, to poke on that 2-hour thing, like we said, just let them cook, let them figure it out. Raw was 3 hours for 12 years. They're not used to not having that third hour anymore for Raw.
True.
And there's a lot of things that usually go on Raw because Raw was 3 hours. So, told you they'll get it together. They'll be fine. Raw's fine.
They also had a roster that was built for 3 hours too.
Indeed.
And now they have to tell us 2 hours worth of story
Indeed.
for 3 hours worth of wrestlers, which obviously involves people having limited roles each on a week-to-week basis.
Which is difficult, right? So they can either front load you and attempt to kill you in 2 hours, or they can attempt to scatter the stories a bit more. And apparently their move is to front load you and kill you. So hope y'all like death for the next 9 Raws. But talking about Bloodline, because Bloodline was on Raw, this cooked. All of a sudden we saw Jimmy Uso, and everybody went, "Let's go, let's keep doing it." And Jay still said no. That's really all it was.
I mean, he's gonna keep saying no until something happens.
Sammy,
right? Sammy, probably.
Yeah, that's the move, right? I mean, like Sammy, like we talked about it on the last pod, so we don't need to go super in depth on this, but like the obvious move would have been for Jimmy to go to Jay and Jay to be like, okay, and that's it, right? And then to go to Sammy next, but you can't really do that after the story that Jimmy and Jay told, and the way that they built it was that Sammy was the bridge between Sammy will be the bridge between Jimmy, Jay, and Jimmy and the rest of the Bloodline and Jay. Sammy is not as involved, is not as deeply tied in a in animosity toward Jimmy or Jay. It was more so toward Roman when he left the bloodline, and how Roman treated everybody, and how Roman was in control and taking advantage of his family, Sammy included. And yeah, and it was more so, and Jay left because he was tired of the same thing. But then Jimmy cost Jay the Intercontinental Championship, and then they fought at WrestleMania. So it's a lot different in that regard. So Jay's going to hold that grudge, but Jay has been connected to Sammy. And Sammy, when he was in the bloodline, we talked about, was more connected to Jimmy at first. And it took Jay a while to warm up. So, I mean, it makes sense for Jimmy to go to Sammy, or Sammy to pop up and help Jimmy in bloodline. And because he had that connection. And then he can be the one to go to Jay and say, listen, these guys are different. These guys are changed. We need to help them because they're not the same guys that we left, the same guys that we turned on, the same guys that we saw the evil in, right? So it's only a matter of time.
Let them cook.
They're cooking all right.
You need to let the story happen. Jay can't just say yes.
Yeah.
And it just makes all the sense in the world.
I feel like this is the only way you could, obviously this is the only way they have to do it, because, like Tim just said, Jay saying yes off the bat retcons and basically devalues everything that happened in the bloodline over the last 2 years. So you can't just have Jimmy be like, hey, yo, let's go, you and me, and Jay be like, just what happened to everything else, right? Yeah. So it makes sense that eventually Sammy will get involved, and he'll be that catalyst, or that bridge, if you will, that just keeps everything together. I'm very excited for the eventual Roman and Sammy face-off when they all come back together, because that we all know how that ended, right? And how that all carried on. So yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, but it was nice that they're starting.
I think it'll be one of those moments too, and I'm sorry to cut you off at the end there, but I'm excited for the moment that Sammy turns up, because I don't feel like it's going to be a thing of they go to Sammy and say, we need your help, and he's just like, okay. I think it's going to be a complete surprise, and I think it's going to be like Jimmy and Roman getting beaten down, and then all of a sudden we just hear, oh, and that just pops the crowd like crazy, because obviously it's Sammy, and it's the bloodline. So that's right. Let's go. We love Scott. Anyway, yeah. What? What was that face for?
Do we?
When it's Sami Zayn's music, we do.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, it's gonna be a good moment. I'm excited.
This is like when Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins got back together, right? It's the.
That's a good reference. It's gonna get the pop. We're already getting the pops, so it's really great to see, and it's only gonna go up. So it's gonna be super exciting when they're all in the ring together, and they all kind of hug it out and are friends. So it's gonna be super fun to watch. There's also absolutely gonna be a moment where
I will cry.
Roman looks at Jay with his IC title, because spoiler alert, he's probably gonna retain it over Braun, I think. And I really see Roman looking at Jay and looking at the title on his shoulder and being like, I acknowledge you, just like you did to Jimmy. But even more so, like, Jay is his own man now. Jay is a champion now. Roman and Jay now have this connection of, like, you're a champion now. You know what it's like to have the world on your shoulders. Or in his case, like, the title belt, you know? Like, he knows what it's like to have that pressure on his shoulder. And he's the only one out of the bloodline currently, the OG bloodline, that has a title going into this, which is an interesting arc, where Roman was always the guy that had the title, and occasionally the Usos with the tag belts, right? But there was never a moment where Roman didn't have a title. So for the moment now, for Jay to be a champion in this bloodline with Roman not being champion is a very interesting dynamic to me. And I mentioned it, but the where the four of them have gone from a character perspective, seeing them all now after they took four very different paths, all converging at the same point now as four changed individuals after WrestleMania 40 and the bloodline first, like I don't know what to call it, the first book, the first chapter, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, the bloodline story up to WrestleMania 40, they are all changed men, and it's really going to be something special to see them all back together again. And I'm super excited. And it's crazy to me to think that it feels like the new bloodline should win this match, but the more I'm the more I'm talking about it, the more I really want the OG bloodline to win, but it just really buries this new bloodline. but maybe that's just not the story.
I mean, we've already buried them. They're not the story. We know they're not the story.
I'm just worried about where they go because all of them are great talents and all of them belong in WWE. It's just
something better for them.
Maybe
TBH.
They could
something
just be
better where they can win, where they're available to win, where they can not look like goofs. You know, because right now, unfortunately, they're just not available to win right now.
Yeah.
In this setting, so
it's true.
We can't. It's over. It's been over.
Yeah.
This is going to be the nail in the coffin. Let's move forward.
I think the unfortunate thing is the point that you really have to hammer on is the funniest of it, and that is they have to be somewhere where they can't be goofs. Because they've, unfortunately, outside of Jacob Fatu, like, the new bloodline's been pretty mediocre. There's nothing about them.
They're fucking ass.
Yeah.
I'm really not a
fan. Say it how it is.
I'm really not a fan of this Tongaloa slander. You say what you want about Solo, say what you want about Tama Tonga, but you talk about my boy Tongaloa, and we're gonna have some serious problems.
You're referring to multiple-time IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion Tongaloa?
Bachaloa, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. You see how that man stood on top of that ladder, like he conquered the motherfucking world? That is the Tongaloa that I know, and I am just glad that he did not hurt himself.
Who was swinging at Okada, and Okada just couldn't find the effort to sell.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, just
that's
making
right.
sure.
That's right.
Just making sure.
This man is money. If you can't see that, then I think that's on you, bro. I don't really know. I don't know how to put it.
Counterfeit bucks.
I can't wait for the machine guns to take the belts off them.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of tag teams that are gonna take belts off of champions, the War Raiders are back. That's pretty sick. I loved how they did it. I mean, they had like the rune. They had been teasing it for a couple of weeks with like this ancient rune, and at first it said PRF, and people were like, Lucha Brothers, because like, you know, P Penta and RF Ray Phoenix, but then the whole thing came out where Tony extended their contract, one of their Ray, I think Phoenix's contract, right? Yes. And so that is put on hold, but then at that moment we were like, oh wait, the Viking Raiders could come back, you know, and then lo and behold, the I forget it was FPR or PFR, the in whatever rune, like the runes spell WAR, they spell war. So then they were like, okay, people were like, maybe they'll come back as War Raiders, and sure enough, they had the rune on the screen, and they were playing the horns at the beginning of their theme, and the rune burns away, and then War Raiders comes on the Tron, and the crowd was mild. Let's be real. The crowd was mild. They have been desensitized to this team by now because Vince ruined them. Let's be real. Vince ruined them when they came to the main roster, calling them the Viking Experience and then the Viking Raiders, and making them emphasize the Vikingness of this character and not the fact that they're just fucking killers.
The antlers were over.
The antlers were over.
They were over to Michael Cole, and that's it. So,
well, sometimes that's all that matters.
Please tell me she's wearing the antlers. Please tell me she's wearing the antlers. She's wearing the antlers, Corey.
I've never seen someone pop so hard for antlers. What a pop.
Big pop.
Big pop.
Mild pop, yes, for the return of the War Raiders. Getting to see them, not in Viking attire anymore. They're dressed like how they were in NXT, and also, more importantly, they're dressed like how they were in New Japan Pro Wrestling and on the Indies when they were War Machine. And just watching them wrestle, I was like, oh, we're seeing that fast-paced Hanson and Rowe action that we saw in NXT again. Like, nothing slow. Like, you know, when they were the Viking Raiders, they definitely changed up their style a little bit. Less athleticism, a lot more focus on just big push you around, throw you. Yeah, there were a few things they would do here and there, a couple moonsaults here and there, because they're freakishly athletic people. But getting to see them just be them again was like a breath of fresh air, and I think all things are leading to them taking the tag titles off of Finn and JD. I almost said Miz, but I'm like, he's not a tag champion anymore.
I think I said Miz earlier too, because I think we were thinking Miz and R-Truth, because that's right.
That.
They were way more present of champions than Finn and JD are now. So it's probably easy to forget.
Are they? So the War Raiders are in a tournament right now. Is that what's going on?
So Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce said that
Nick Aldis, yes.
No, better Nick Aldis. He is
Neither
Adam
Nick Aldis.
Shark Cage Pierce, and you will show him some respect,
Neither
just like
Nick Aldis.
Bachaloa. Just like Bachaloa. Anyway, yeah, so he told Finn and JD, like, y'all never defend these fucking belts. So, and he said what we're all thinking. Like, you never defend these fucking belts. We're gonna have a tournament to decide your next contenders.
At
And it's probably gonna be Warriors.
At least WWE's acknowledge. Sorry.
You're good.
At least WWE's acknowledging their shitty booking.
I mean, yeah, in a creative way.
Which
And
worked.
I hope that they
Good
use
flip.
this tournament to build the tag division.
It's not their fault they gave him the belts while also simultaneously trying to battle with Damian Priest for the summer. Like,
Well, it's not like they are the people that make creative decisions that allow that or anything. Oh, wait. They are.
a lot
Come
to
on.
do, little space.
What? Dog.
3 hours of television is
We
apparently
had the
not
final
enough.
testicle on the show. And they decided to give the belt Yusuf's
So-
face. And they decided to give the belts to Finn and JD while Finn is
So-
in a singles feud.
The Miz turned on R-Truth last week. We talked about it a little bit. The Miz and R-Truth then had a match because of course they did. Because this isn't a story. Let's just keep it short and sweet and keep it pushing.
Well, it's a story. It's just a TV story.
Let's keep it pushing though. Like we can keep it pushing. So I actually I don't know if people were complaining about how quick this was, but this is fine. R-Truth is delusional anyway. He would have thought he had a match anyway. It's just the character, so it's fine. Miz loses,
Shocker.
and everybody then goes and beats up R-Truth, with Miz leading all of the final testicle
Well,
out of the arena.
oh yeah. So Miz turned on R-Truth that previous week, and then they had that match, and I feel like it's giving Vinci and Apollo Crews. Like it was like
Pasa now?
it was giving Giovanni Vinci and Apollo Crews. Like the
It's-
obvious choice would have had Miz winning, right? Like on paper, but then you think about the Final Testament getting involved, getting in Miz's head and all of that. And then you have the match and R-Truth wins via a roll-up, where in a match where you probably think Miz should get the win, right? He just turned heel again. He's going to do something, right? But no,
I mean,
he didn't.
he did do something.
Well, I also saw, and I might have missed this when I watched, did he not get attacked backstage?
I might have missed that.
Probably. I might have missed that.
I had
who
seen a
knows?
You
photo.
should probably watch
I had
that.
seen a photo.
Yeah.
I mean, I did, but just not that product. I believe, and I'm gonna Google to make sure.
So while he stalls,
I believe the Wyatt Six attacked the Miz backstage. I believe.
no, yeah, they're still kicking around.
Yeah, they're figuring out their next story. So they had been teasing like, don't go down this path. Don't change. Like, don't go down this path. Don't do what
They're
you're doing.
the choose your own adventure wrong path. They're the path in the choose your own adventure book where you die.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I was like, wait, is this supposed to be a dig at the Wyatt Six?
It's not a dig, but it may not also be a compliment. No?
I mean, it.
Look, man,
How do
it's
I put this
October and
nicely?
we have a real
Yeah.
lack of spooky shit. And
We need something spooky.
furthermore, it's October and the Bray Pack is coming out. So not only do we need the Bray Pack to come out, we need that Wyatt Pack of ass to come out as well and do something.
So the pack he's referring to is the DLC that's dropping on WWE 2K24. They announced they're
Either today
dropping
or next week.
Yeah, I think it was today. They dropped the new edition of The Fiend that was never seen on TV because of Bray Wyatt's unfortunate passing. And it included Uncle Howdy in that pack as well, which obviously we now know is Bo Dallas. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But yeah, where's the spooky shit? And I
we
think
gotta
it's
sell
building
merch.
to something. I'm surprised they hadn't had Wyatt 6 pop up anywhere. I thought it would. Call me crazy. I think it would have been creative if they had them pop up in NXT for Halloween Havoc.
I mean,
They have
that show
nothing to do
hasn't
down
happened yet.
I mean, they
Yeah.
have nothing to do down there, though.
Halloween
So
Havoc hasn't happened.
they
It
have a
hasn't
story.
happened.
The story with. I know it hasn't happened.
So we're saying there's a
It's
chance.
not Halloween yet. But
So we're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
so you're saying there's a chance? No, but like they don't have a story to do in NXT right now. Miz isn't going down to NXT. So they probably won't.
Find someone to pick off in NXT.
Why you gotta be like that?
I don't know.
Going to NXT. Why you gotta be like that? Randy Orton was just there for no reason. Jey Uso was just there for no reason.
Miz was there recently. He did Miz TV.
Oh yeah, right there.
And they didn't go after him. So,
well, Wyatt's could pick a different target while they're focused on the Miz in NXT. I suggest who do I not like in NXT? No, he's been released. He's been released too.
Jesus.
Oh well.
Are you serious? Or were you just making a joke because Loki?
Tony D'Angelo could get stolen by ninjas again.
Yo, remember that, bro? What the fuck?
But this time it's just the Wyatt 6 instead of the ninjas.
We could bring back Tim's favorite gimmick, ninjas.
As long as Omos is still big ninja.
Where is fucking? Where are the ninjas? Where's Retribution when you need them,
bruh? What is happening on this episode?
This is the goofiest thing ever.
Let's bring it back to the actual topic at hand, and that is how fucking great. I gotta say, I said it to you guys before we started rolling, but fuck, man, I liked Karrion Kross the most I've liked him on the main roster in this segment. Just the way his character work was hilarious. Like, Truth wins the match. He's all celebrating. He hugs Miz, which also was fucking hilarious. And Miz hugs him back, and then he's like, wait, why am I hugging you? You just beat me. And then he rolls out of the ring, and he's singing what's up. He's all happy, and Karrion's like, yeah, Truth, good job. Truth walks by him, and as soon as he walks by Kross, he takes a smile and just goes, get him, boys. Get him right now. And they go and get him. Oh, my God. It was fucking... I don't know why it was so funny. It was just the character work was just over the top goofy, and it was great.
I have full reason to believe, and I've said this in various episodes of this podcast regarding Karrion Kross, if he is trying to be serious, you can't take him seriously. You never could.
Nope.
It was how it was. When he was in NXT... for some reason, yes, you could take him very seriously. You're like, okay, cool, we like this, you know? Because I think the thing with Karrion back then...
He was bald.
He was bald, yes, that's the big part of it, is he was bald. The other thing, too, is his character was so different from everything we were used to in that era of Black and Gold NXT that we were like, oh, okay, like, this is something... like, this is a threat to NXT. You know, he's not like an Adam Cole or a Keith Lee or Johnny or Tommaso or anything like that. He is like actually here to kill everybody and eat people and take the title for himself. We can take this seriously. He goes to the main roster. Everything happens. You know, he's back now. Yada, yada, yada. Now the final ball sack or whatever the hell we're calling it. When he's trying to be serious, like he's like, when he cuts his backstage promos, you know, the lights are all out. There's like a green screen of like a storm happening behind him, and Scarlett's there like casting a spell in the background, and he's basically reciting something from the Bible, and you're like, what is happening here? And then he does shit like this, where he's like serious for a sec, like he's joking about it, like, oh, Truth, good job, that is the Karrion Kross I like. That we need more of that. I don't know how they didn't think of that earlier, but this is great.
I think the crux of the issue, you kind of hit the nail on the head, I think. And that is, in NXT, when he was supposed to be taken seriously, he was this unstoppable monster, and it was and I think the problem is that at that time, there was nothing like that in that era that was a believable big man that was actually a good wrestler and was entertaining. At that time, it was when big wrestlers that couldn't wrestle were the big wrestlers, the big unstoppable monsters. I think the other thing,
to be specific, it's like a big man that was a heel. Because in NXT at the time, the best big man on the roster was Keith Lee, who was a face. Right?
I'll keep it a buck. I've never liked this character. I've never liked this character. I've never liked this wrestler. I've never understood it. It made no sense to me. It was bad in NXT to me. It's bad now. None of this is great. But it's fine. It is what it is. I do still enjoy the concept that he's just flipping everybody so he can go take the belts for himself. I think that's the best concept that I've seen out of him yet. Other than
if that's the concept, then that guy is the smartest man ever. Because right now he looks really fucking stupid. I'm not going to lie.
That's what I would do if I was this guy right now.
Be really fucking stupid?
No. the part that isn't stupid. And him making everybody attack each other so then he takes the belts.
Well, there's one problem with that. He hasn't had a title shot, looked believable, or won a single title belt. Are they in this
you said there's a tournament. Are they in it?
They haven't announced who's in it.
Well, they have to be in it because
there's
only about 5 tag teams.
Adam Sharkcage Pierce just said that a team tournament is starting soon to determine their next challengers. That's all he said.
So hold on a second. I want to take
Probably starts next week.
I want to take a quick detour for a second because AEW is happening live right now, and there's a belt choking spot going on. The
Excuse
Elite
me?
is watching Dean Ambrose's group or John Moxley's group just kill everybody, including Orange Cassidy.
So are we gonna get a? Yo, wait. Now,
Hold on.
now, I hate
There's
that
a
you
lot of
brought
hold
up.
on right now.
I hate that you brought up live AEW because now we're going off talking about this, and we could talk about something.
I mean, this
we could
isn't
stay
the
on top.
first time we've done this.
We're watching
know,
murder. Hold on. They're taking the stairs. Hold on, this might be murder. We can cut this later, right?
No,
oh Lord, that's
no,
murder.
we cannot cut.
Oh,
this.
John Moxley's talking while they're murdering too. Okay, never mind. We're moving on.
Anyway, that makes me sound like they might go with an Elite versus BCC match at some point,
There's something in regards to that I want to bring up for later, but I'm
or
going
a
to bring that.
or a 3-team
Might as well bring it
match.
up now.
Wait,
I'm gonna-
wait, 3-team match. 3-team match. Hear me out. It's the guys that are gonna get a push from this: Darby, Orange Cassidy, Hook, and who am I forgetting?
Not to
Somebody
burst
else,
your
right?
bubble,
Daniel
but
Garcia,
Darby
probably.
and Hook are nowhere to be found right now.
I'm not
Uh-oh.
talking about right now, though. I'm just saying in general, like that team of the faces against the Elite, against the BCC, and a triple threat, and then they could call the faces like AEW or like originals or pillars or whatever they want to call it.
I think we're just straight up going for a faction war that's built up over time. I don't know if it's going to lead to that specifically, but I think they're gonna. I'm still of the belief that they're gonna have everything done individually rather than like all the factions kill each other at once in like a massive tag match or something. Like someone's gonna go after Moxley, someone's gonna go after Okada, someone's gonna go after Claudio and Pac, someone's gonna go after the Bucks. You know what I mean? Like that. Now, speculation, obviously. Today happens, or I think it was yesterday or today, is the birthday of one Kenny Omega.
Oh, and speaking of, they did a nice little promo, the Elite, right before, with a little birthday cake, and then said his pussy little guts, and then had a nice little intestine on top of the cake that looked all fucked up.
So Kenny is coming back as the leader of this group.
At some point, Kenny Omega will be back, and I have a feeling that
Well,
he's
that's
going
less
to
fun.
lead the charge of the AEW faithfuls to fend off the invasion of the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club. Man,
What
it's
if
a
it's
great
the
thing.
Elite
No
BCC?
wrestling company.
Like the corporate ministry.
What if the BCC is actually working for the Elite and not Shane?
What if Shane is the reason they eventually come together?
What if Shane beats Okada?
What if Shane?
What if Shane just yeah? What if Shane? What is a Shane?
What is Shane?
Why is Shane?
How is Shane?
I love that all roads just lead to Shane McMahon.
That's exactly what this man wanted. He just
It's-
wanted to be on TV.
It's
Yeah.
Shane. Hold on, another side conversation because this is the sidebar of this whole podcast.
This whole episode is a
This whole
sidebar.
podcast is a sidebar because we just didn't have time. So let's really talk about it for a second. So y'all remember the Christian re-debut back in 2009, right?
It's Christian.
Christian?
The alleged conversation, and I didn't hear the quote specifically. I saw it, and I saw it in probably not the most reputable source. So take this with a grain of salt. But apparently, in some interview, Todd Grisham was in Gorilla right before the ECW was about to go on air at 10 p.m. on Sci-Fi back in the day. He goes out, or he's in Gorilla, and Vince goes, "Christian's returning. Don't be excited." And so that was how he handled Vince's order to not be excited. So anyone who's been wondering for the last 15 years why that is what it is,
That could be the reason why.
allegedly Vince hates Christian. That
Wow.
is also.
Speaking of Christian, he has a match tonight on AEW. Against Jay White. This is
You know,
actually very important
speaking
for
of
the Jay White
Christian,
lore.
Speaking of Christian, let's wrap up Raw discussion, shall we? So
He used
Nah,
to be
I'm
on Raw maybe 20 years ago.
No.
yeah.
Him and Tyson
so-
Tomko.
I guess one more thing we can.
God,
That's a
Jesus
throwback
Christ.
for
that's
you.
a throwback.
Okay, we need to move from that, please. The last thing to talk about from Raw that's of note: Cody Rhodes and Gunther had a face-to-face promo on Raw. It was very amicable. It was very respectful. Gunther wants
Very
the
demure.
best version of Cody.
Very mindful.
Very mindful.
I'm so
Anyway, so
angry.
Cody Rhodes and Gunther had a
I
promo
don't like
on Raw.
respectable. I didn't want. I could have done without a respectable promo, but good for them. Gunther's eventually going to hit the line, and that's what we're all waiting for.
I mean, yeah, eventually it's going to come to blows, but to me, I think it makes sense, right? They're two champions at the top of their respective shows. I think it's realistic. That's exactly how
it is. They don't really know each other either.
And it's on track for Gunther's character, too. Gunther starts he starts every feud with respect, and then he either makes a backhanded compliment or he talks about how he's elitist and he doesn't talk about it. He just is elitist and talks like he's better than them. He's very like condescending.
Let's be real. It's going to be a dusty dig, and it's going to be what it's going to be.
I mean, I think Gunther seems to be playing into this Cody, KO, and Randy story, because the big thing that Gunther said was that, a friend of everyone is not a friend at all, saying that Cody tries too hard to be friends with everybody and that it's going to turn around and bite him in the ass. And that's quite literally what it's doing right now with Kevin Owens and this heel turn. So I could very well see Kevin Owens coming and attacking and costing Cody Rhodes this Crown Jewel Championship no one gives a fuck about and allowing Gunther to win. But I could also see Goldberg costing Gunther as well.
At least it's pretty.
So, you think it's pretty? Wait, really?
I mean,
That's a hot take,
It's
man.
got emeralds on it. I like emeralds.
It looks
like their attempt at an AEW belt.
We both said that. I remember
it's
that at the
huge.
same
It's
time.
a big belt.
Because it's vertical.
It's a
the
big
plates,
belt. Where's
it's a
Andre
big
when you
belt.
need him?
It's a big belt. Well, R.I.P. But yeah, that's these lights keep flickering, man. It's so weird. Anyway,
wait a minute. What the hell? Is that
What?
Shelton Benjamin?
yeah, he's on AEW.
yeah.
He's in the
What
Hurt
the hell?
business.
Bobby Lashley is supposed to be showing up sometime like very soon.
He was
if
supposed to
all's
show up
we
at
believe.
Wrestle Dream, but they were like, we don't want our two hometown babyfaces from Washington State to be attacked.
Yeah.
Swerve is the more interesting one.
Anyway,
So
Swerve is going to be on O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s podcast.
wow.
So this Gunther
Anyway.
match is going to be great, though.
Yes,
like,
it
this
will.
match will be great. I'm waiting. We're all just kind of holding our breath, waiting for the backhanded compliment.
I think
If we
we're all
get
waiting for Crown Jewel to be over. Is more like
Well,
it.
that's true. But if we have to stay here and watch this, then we might
But
as well enjoy.
we gotta
might as well
enjoy
it.
the ride, right?
So-
I kind of just wish they had this match. I wish they didn't have this match only because
We don't want to
don't
waste
wanna-
all the KO promos.
I don't want to waste this match off of something that's really no story. Like, they're trying to make a story out of it, but like, let's be real, there's no organic story. I would have
Well-
rather had a genuine championship feud come out of this, or a genuine one-on-one feud on the same show.
There was no Damian and Gunther feud. He won the thing, so that's why they feuded. So,
But that's
I mean,
fine. But that's fine.
same thing. They're both champion, and now they're feuding. I mean, it's better than putting this crap at Survivor Series. We can actually keep Survivor
yeah.
Series for
You're
real.
right.
But I
No,
think
you're right.
So-
You're
the
right.
problem is, though,
here
and
for it.
we've gone over this before, is that Saudi events are always considered non-canon to the WWE. So
Except then they want to make them canon. Make up your mind.
I know. Make up your damn mind. Like,
I think they make it so like the canon events that happen are ones where you're not like, oh fuck, I missed that, but like it's so like it furthers the story without you feeling like you missed something crazy.
hey,
That's what I like about it.
remember when they did
But
the World Cup and the Undertaker won?
No.
Remember when Shane McMahon was the best wrestler in the world?
I
I'm gonna
remember that.
mute you. I have the power to mute you.
I know you
Do not.
Oh, it's like a
stop
Zoom call. You can
baiting me.
mute us. I didn't know
Stop
that.
fear
He
baiting
does.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
the host, bro. Shut up.
Yeah. Host on Rivers.
You too. Anyway,
No. But let me actually get to my
Whoa.
point. I actually have a point.
no,
My
I'm
point
playing.
being
Is
I'm going on mute.
I'm never. The Saudi shows have been getting better. I'll give them that. The whole business with it, maybe I'm not a fan of. That's fine. But the problem is when a show like this happens, especially now there's a belt involved that is going to be at every
seen for 5 minutes and then thrown in a bin.
Well, also, specifically at Crown Jewel events. And yes, Crown Jewel only does happen once a year, but it's like they change the date of it every year. Like last year was in like the summer or something, or like May, I think it was, and now it's in November, right? This year. So it's not a yearly thing that everyone looks up to or looks forward toward because it's an inconsistent date.
So they usually do Crown Jewel at this time of year. What changes is the spring show. I think they did have Crown Jewel in the spring at one point, but once they went from one Saudi show to two, or they went from like the Greatest Royal Rumble and something else, they changed that. So now
That makes
Crown
sense,
Jewel
okay.
is Crown Jewel is the constant, but then they did Night of Champions this time. The past 2 years
King
they
of
did
the
Night
Ring.
of Champions.
No, they did King of the Ring, then they did
King of the Ring,
this year,
yeah.
and they did Night of Champions last year.
Correct. Yeah.
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 Okay,
Sorry.
that makes sense. Well,
Yep.
so regardless, I think like having Crown Jewel, fine. Like, oh, this is they're gonna champion versus champion for this belt. That belt is not gonna matter as soon as Crown Jewel is done. So, you know,
But what if it does? Let's go on a tangent, right?
Okay.
We have to kill time somehow.
yeah, that's
What-
true. Much
and
like
now,
they do.
And now we've lost the host.
Yeah,
So
we lost
so
Tyler.
it's,
Let's just
so
do
let's
it
talk
now.
about it for a second.
Okay.
So wait a minute.
I'm
So
trying
what
to
if it
figure out
does?
the
What if
flickery
this
lights, don't mind
matters,
me.
right?
hmm
What if we carry this belt around?
So let's say Cody wins.
I,
Let's use a
yeah, who
hypothetical.
wins this first? So let's talk
I
about
know,
the
that's
matches
the
if it
other thing.
matters, right?
Yeah.
Because we want Gunther to be strong, especially if the alleged conversations of him going with Punk at Survivor Series are true, right?
Right.
Which is very possible. Punk doesn't want to do Saudi because he's
Yeah.
Punk, and that makes sense for Punk. And if Gunther is going in strong and Gunther wins, and he carries this belt, what does that do? Like, he's not going to defend it,
No, but I guess.
but if he's the crown
does it-
jewel, but
does
we
it?
want. Do we want the crown jewel more than the world title? This is totally hypothetical. Obviously, this match will probably not matter. But if let's say it does, because we
Right.
have to fill time.
I think the thing is like, whoever wins. Again, this is the problem about it being non-canon. Is someone is going to win that match, and then no one is going to care a week later. Like, they'll have the recap on Raw, and they'll have the highlights from the show. They're like, Cody, whoever, let's just say Cody, right? Cody Rhodes is the crown jewel champion. All the fireworks and the crazy Saudi budget.
Yay.
But then after that week is done, when they do the recaps on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, who cares? Like, what is Cody going to show up on Monday with the crown jewel belt and be like, so what do you want? Or is he going to show up on SmackDown with it? No, because they have to start building to Survivor Series. Because by the time Crown Jewel is done, they have 3 weeks to build Survivor
Ish.
Series? Ish, yeah.
So I guess the reason why I asked though, right? So if he because right now the WWE Championship is no longer called the Undisputed Championship. It's very clearly disputed as a world title.
Well,
As
they do
Tyler-
still call it disputed.
Undisputed.
They call it
Correct.
the disputed WWE Championship?
They call it the undisputed. So if you go,
They do. I
WWE's
noticed that
website-
on
they call it the undisputed. Undisputed WWE champion.
yeah, I noticed that on Monday Night Raw when Cody was coming out of his bus on his nameplate. It says undisputed WWE champion specifically.
And the belt literally says undisputed champion on it.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
But
does it? Okay. Yeah.
they
Same
called
with the women's belt too.
I mean, okay, that's interesting actually though.
It is,
That's
but it's
actually
because they had to
interesting
make a carbon copy. They make a carbon copy and scale it down.
Because I was gonna say the 03 undisputed belt was called the undisputed belt, and I may have even said undisputed on there somewhere, but it was very much disputed. There was a Triple H title, not a world title, a Triple H title.
Technically, if you want to get really technical with it, there is not another WWE champion. There is only the one, and they are undisputed.
So what's more important,
Right.
the WWE or the world?
Yes,
I would personally be.
That's not. There isn't
Yes,
supposed to be.
yeah.
I would personally
There's-
want to be
yeah.
the world.
There is
because
not
it's the world.
supposed
I'm
to
the
be an
champion
answer.
of the world. I don't even want to be AEW world champion because
Kinda
it's
like
the world
it-
champion
they-
of AEW.
Kind of like even
They
when they
don't
did
really-
the late 2010s brand split and they tried to make two titles that were equivalent, but then they had the SmackDown belt was the WWE World Champion because they just renamed the home plate WWE Champion to be the WWE World Champion. And then they made a belt for Raw and called it the Universal Champion. So then the Raw belt once
Oh,
again became the
yeah.
bigger title by name because it's the universe.
I want to be the champion
Right.
of the universe.
right? Like Jesus Christ.
All right,
but
so I
then they
guess we're
came
not-
out
I
looking
guess
like
we're
a
not-
Fruit Loop, fruit
I
roll
guess
up.
we're not gonna dig into what if this does matter because it clearly doesn't. But
I mean,
I
hear
guess
me
the
out.
real goal is Cody is gonna win this match.
Nah, hear me
though.
out. It's gonna be nuts. Here's what's gonna happen, and you can tell me later if you think it's real or you think I'm just fucking around and messing around. Cody wins. His ego becomes so inflated, dyes his hair black, comes out in a black suit, and carries this belt around like he's the greatest thing in the fucking world.
If this was May of next year, I would love this idea. However, we've already proven that we're not gonna do any of that shit.
Come on, even
anytime
when I
soon.
fuck around and make a Cody Rhodes heel turn, kind of plausible. You're out here shitting on it. Come on,
I'm not shitting on it.
This is what you want.
This is exactly what I want.
this is what you want.
This is exactly what I want.
Give me what I want.
I want my I want my Cody Lander, but unfortunately, we
man.
have no time for Cody Lander.
Nope. Because the final boss. What you gonna do now? I'm back, Mama Rhodes.
I'm back, except I won't see you again until
What if The Rock
2025.
actually just wants the crown jewel belt?
Ah, yes, more fake belts for The Rock.
What if Cody wins the belt and Rock comes out and just goes, "Do you
That's
mind
a
if
nice
The Rock
belt.
holds your new belt?"
That's a nice newer belt,
And Cody goes,
I guess.
"No.
Yeah,
Only
what if
if I
he's
can
just like-
hold yours."
Then Cody goes, Dwayne, what are you doing on a 2-hour episode of Raw?
Oh my God.
They said, Dwayne, we're in Scottsdale. You didn't need to be here.
It would have been Saudi, actually.
No, I'm talking about the Raw after.
The Raw after, wherever it is.
Okay. Interesting.
Imagine The Rock just shows up and Cody's like, this show's 2 hours long. Why are you wasting your time? Your
Sir,
entrance
this is
like half an
this
hour.
is Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Sir, this isn't Dallas. This is fucking Austin. Like, you didn't have to come here.
Yeah.
My God.
I'm just picking all the shittier.
Sir, we're in
shittier
El
cities.
Paso. What are you?
So
Don't do that to Eddie Guerrero.
while we're on the topic of Raw, I did want to bring up a scoop that I heard today.
we were still talking about Raw.
Yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on
There's
the scoop.
more?
So after Crown
It's a
Jewel,
big show.
there is a pay-per-view called Survivor Series, PLE.
Yes. The
And
real
there
thing.
is
The
there
real
is
one.
a world title match that is rumored to take place at the show. Now, CM Punk has been calling out Gunther, saying he wants to come after the world title. He won the Hell in a Cell match against Drew, so all signs point to him getting his world title match at Survivor Series. And Cultaholic posted it today. Wrestle Purists broke the report that the plan is CM Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title at Survivor Series. Now,
So-
how do we feel about that? Do we have any predictions?
So-
What's going on with that?
So we kind of touched on this while you had stepped away for a second, and we started making jokes about the crown jewel. So this makes this kind of interesting, this whole match, because you want Gunther to at least look kind of strong, especially if we think Gunther's taking an L. Personally, I think he is, but let's leave that out of this for now. Because Gunther still should probably look at least somewhat decent going into Punk, which means Cody can't punk him out. No pun intended. Cody also can't lose because I just don't see that right now. I don't think Gunther's there for that victory. So it's kind of a weird pairing, and it's kind of an unfortunate pairing. Someone's going to take an L unless nobody's going to get a W, and everything gets fucked up, and we don't want that because we don't need a non-finish to a non-canon title match. I'm very much okay with all of that. Oh, the prediction though is that we're going to Survivor Series and Punk is winning, and we're going into this Mania match with him as champion.
I'm gonna get to that after. Yeah, Gunther Punk makes the most sense. Survivor Series, yeah. Does Punk win it here? I don't know if he does anymore. And I've been very obviously for Punk winning the title. But I think the idea of him fighting and clawing his way back, like he'll have the match, maybe he loses, he comes up short due to Drew's gone right now, so due to, excuse me 1 second while I turn my gain down to do this. The Witch Man, the CrossFit Jesus himself, the whatever the hell else nickname he has. Maybe that happens. You start building it up, because I think the idea is for Punk to win the title at Mania. He gets two things. He gets his main event, and he gets the last thing on his bucket list. Because assuming he wins the Rumble, that's another thing crossed off that he never got to do. Win the Rumble. And all that's left is win a belt he's never held. This world title. I think that all makes sense. If he does beat Gunther at Survivor Series, I don't know where you go from there. It might be fun, but I don't. The thing is, if he wins at Survivor Series, the Rumble becomes a crapshoot again, right? I think that's the one thing every year, especially towards the tail end of every year, whenever world titles are getting thrown around or whatever might happen, the question becomes on any podcast you hear that talks about professional wrestling, who the fuck is winning the Rumble? Because at that point, you're like, what's the plan at Mania, right? Like next year, we've joked about Roman winning the Rumble and setting up the trilogy. We've joked about The Rock winning the Rumble. Now it's, we've talked about Punk winning the Rumble. There's an idea of Seth winning the Rumble if Punk's going in as champ. Drew wins the Rumble. Who the fuck knows? Yes, it makes it interesting, but I think the idea now, especially if they're going to save the Bloodline Cody thing for night 2, give Punk night 1 main event, still counts, it's still a Mania main event. And I think Punk's done his justice, or he's done his shit for years, right? He's learned from his mistakes. He's back in WWE, and he's a better man than he was a year ago in a different company. He deserves what he wants: a Rumble win, world title, Mania main event.
So I'm gonna interject here because I know me and Ty are gonna get into it. So let me try to avoid getting into it right now and say Tyler hates this idea. And
why don't you get into it with Yusuf sometimes?
Because he doesn't say things that I disagree with, or
he just said everything that I agree with. What do you mean? You're about to avoid a battle with him to get in a battle with me?
No, he was just talking about potential options.
And I'm not saying I hate the idea, but go ahead, continue.
Whatever. And it's more fun to poke fun at you. You respond better. We need the content, bro.
Content.
The reason I say Punk is winning here and then going into Mania with this title, because to me, it's Punk's story is not to win the belt at Mania. That was never his story. I never saw that for him. I saw Punk as the champion going into Mania. I mean, of course, with his little Cinderella story and coming back, that was fine and all, blah, 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 blah. Then he got hurt. And now shit gets fun. Because we had this whole Drew thing that just lasted basically the entire year. So I'm very cool on them on not being near each other for quite a while. I'm very cool on that. That's enough. However, there is this whole concept of a triple threat that I still really love. And now that we've gotten all of the real Drew and Punk shit out the way, we can finally get back to the real source of the issue, which is Seth fucking Rollins. We'll get there. So there's a prevailing theory of Seth interrupting this match and costing CM Punk the title, which I personally also do not love, because that kind of just rehashes another story to me that we've already done. Punk and somebody else playing footsies with each other and not letting each other win a belt. And I kind of just don't feel like going through another 6 months of that. Personally, we've kind of already been there, because then it's just going to turn personal. They're going to make internet comments and it's all just going to be the same shit. That's how I see it. So to me, at this point, Punk's story is being in the main event, not necessarily winning the title in the main event. And what makes it super interesting to me, and I kind of fleshed this idea out after we already had this conversation in my head, of Punk being the champion walking in. There's the interesting story of Punk having to save his main event by holding on to the belt. And you can bring that up in story. And I think that is a much interesting conversation and a much interesting story to watch than rehashing the Drew, Seth, and Punk story where they all just kind of fuck with each other for 6 months. I think that's much more interesting. And it makes Punk look a little bit desperate, which makes Punk allowed to be a bit more. He's already a tweener, but he doesn't have to be good guy Phil for that either, which is also much more intriguing to watch than good guy Phil. That's the new point. Other than that, all of those points Tyler already knew.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go back to Crown Jewel. I think Gunther could very well win. And I think it could be because Kevin Owens cost Cody Rhodes. He's suspended, but that doesn't mean he won't fly to Saudi and do what needs to be done.
The
and
check
that is
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, take everything away from Cody Rhodes that he can. Make him pay for working with the people that ruined his life. I think that makes perfect sense. And Cody's the guy that would treat that belt with honor, and KO knows that Cody really would want that belt. It means a lot to him. KO screws him. Gunther gets the win. It keeps him dominant, keeps him strong going into Survivor Series. Here's the thing, and I think Yusuf made this point, and Yusuf did make this point, and I think that I was missing this point in my argument to why I think Gunther will retain over CM Punk. From a storyline perspective, from a creative perspective, I feel like there's not really too much mileage on a CM Punk title reign to carry us from November until April. I really don't. I think that there are matches. I'm not saying there aren't matches, but I think there are more stories we can tell with Gunther than there are with Punk. And I can't see what you're doing because you're blurry. But
can I interject?
Sure.
Because I just thought of this idea. What if
Okay.
we give Punk the belt to give him his run back with Cena, to give Cena his belt and have Cena walk in as champion?
I would rather have Cena versus Cody for the WWE title.
Never mind.
Personally.
Continue.
I would rather do Punk versus Cena with no belt involved.
I'll also continue.
That is
then.
ideal.
Never mind.
That is ideal.
Or Randy versus Cena as well. Non-title.
Alright,
But yes.
continue.
No, that's a valid idea. That's a good story, honestly. But what I'm thinking is we still have more stories we can tell with Gunther. One of them in particular that has been brought up on TV that wouldn't make sense if it was against Punk is Damian Priest. The whole thing with Damian Priest and exiting this alliance with Rhea Ripley, recently they've been talking about it being, the Terror Twins, they beat the Judgment Day, they got what they needed out of it, they got their revenge, cool. And Rhea's been telling him, do your own thing. I'm cool. I'm going to keep at Liv. I want my title back. You go for what's yours. You go for your title. And he's been saying, I want my championship back. I want to be El Campeón again. And it doesn't make sense to run Damian versus Punk, in my opinion. The match would be cool, but I don't think it would be a good story. I think it's kind of a character mismatch at the moment. I think there's more to gain from a Gunther Damian rerun, where I think they can pick up where they left off and have Damian say, listen, you beat me because Finn turned on me. I took care of Finn. Now it's time to get my title back. And he loses. And I think that could be a solid match for Saturday night's main event. I think it could be a solid match for Rumble. But I think here's where we go. Gunther beats Punk with or without the potential of a Seth Rollins interference to keep that story going. On Raw last week, Punk said he was going away for a while and he was about to leave, and Rollins came out, cut off his exit, and bumped shoulders with him, and clearly both of them were still pissed at each other. They still have the story to tell. Now Seth could cost Punk. I'm cool if he doesn't. I would love it if he didn't. I'd love no interference. And then we get at Saturday night's main event in December, we get Damian and Gunther. Gunther retains. Rumble, somehow we get Seth versus Gunther. And I think that Seth wins. And Seth is champion. And then Punk gets his Cinderella story of winning the Royal Rumble and going to the main event of WrestleMania. And at that point, you can have him win or you can have him lose. And personally, I would like to have him lose. But having him win would also make a lot of sense. But I just don't think we get much from CM Punk beating Seth Rollins at this point in 2025 at that point. So I think that Seth would beat Punk. Or you have somehow Seth and Drew both get involved and fuck over Punk somehow. Or some way to build the triple threat, because I like the idea of that triple threat being run back at Mania. However, there's a potential for a triple threat for the other world title at WrestleMania as well. So do we want to run 2 triple threat world title matches? Depends on where they go. But yeah, I would lean toward no.
I don't want a triple threat for that match at all.
For the WWE title too?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, some people do. I kind of do. I wouldn't be mad about it.
I'd be mad if he's anywhere near that third match.
Well, he's been talking about that doesn't have to be the third match, so
A triple threat for the
it's
WWE.
not the third match actually. So
What a way to
title.
ruin a trilogy would be to do that.
Well, I think the
a trilogy is
triple threat-
literally 3 parts. It doesn't have to be 3 consecutive parts.
No, okay, so I was going to make the point that I think a triple threat would be a good buffer between 2 and 3.
Oh, no.
1,000%.
Waste my goddamn time with that shit.
Glazes over the story and how good it is, and then the second The Rock comes in and still makes it good, he says it's bad.
I
Make
never
it
said
make
it was
sense.
bad. I said that was a waste of my time. Listen to the words that come out my mouth. Stop making words come out
waste
of
of
my
don't
mouth.
have to-
So a waste of your time is good? You like your time being wasted?
I mean, yes, I'm aware that the promos will be fantastic. I'm aware that the build will be great. I'm aware of all that. It's just a waste of my time. The thing that I want is 1 and 1. That makes 2. I don't need 1 and 1 to make 3.
I mean, yeah, but we can have 1 and 1 makes 2 at WrestleMania 42.
putting The Rock in there is just so neither of them have to eat the pin, which I kind of don't like.
I'm cool with it.
No.
I'm cool with it. If it's a good
No.
story, if it makes
No.
sense, if I'm entertained,
No.
I think
'Cause
I'll be entertained.
Personally, if Rock wants his little fucking match, which I don't think he really should get either because he's a fucking executive. But whatever, that's fine. I guess that's what we're doing now. I guess we're AEW light in that sense. That's fair.
Come on, bro. Vince McMahon literally defined the Attitude Era, him or not. Come on.
The only difference is Vince didn't win a title or...
I'm sorry, he absolutely did win the WWF championship.
title. He actually did.
What did that say? I can't read it.
Never mind.
It's it's going to show up. Oh,
It's straight up green screen.
That's inappropriate.
And now he's muted.
it says screams for help. I think I'm going to start doing, this is going to be a bit now going forward. Whenever you two start arguing, I'm just going to have cue cards in the back of like help or like danger.
Scorecards.
And then
Scoreboard.
when me and you inevitably watch something on the side while recording, we're going to have a sign that says, hold on.
Pause.
For
And
real.
it may not always be wrestling related. It may be sports related.
Who knows?
For real. Jinx.
Who was attempting to argue right now? Me? Who's talking?
Ty, we're talking about The Rock and the triple
Oh no, Vince
threat.
won a thing, and then I made an AEW joke, and it was unwarranted and uncalled for. My fault.
And
AEW.
we all laughed and had a good time, and fun was had.
TBH though, just give Rock his own match. Give Rock his own match somewhere else.
Hey,
There's
have
other
Rock
big
face Roman non-title.
There's other big shows, and there's also other places we can do that besides Mania. TBH.
Yeah, it doesn't
There
have
are.
to
Because
be
I'm
a
not
Mania
waiting until
match.
42 for that. Because I would much rather run back this trilogy and finish it up.
Rock Roman realistically
Could never
be the-
happen and be fine.
No. Nope.
I mean, unless we start
What's the
poking
story?
unless we start poking some buttons, because we really don't know nothing
the
about
story
nothing.
here. Well, I'll explain the story. The story has been
It was rhetorical, but go ahead.
Shush. The story has been Big Dog wins title. Big Dog become tribal chief.
Big Dog loses championship.
Big Dog loses championship. Big Dog cousin come back and control company. Big Dog cousin look at Big Dog and go,
I'm Big Dog.
I am the Big Dog now, and they will
I
now
am the
fight
Big
for
Dog
Big Dog.
So the answer is the story was no, that was
So the
that
answer
was a
is
good
the
summation.
That
story
is the
is
story.
realistically
no,
speaking.
it's not actually. That's not the story.
Realistically speaking, Rock Roman should happen at some point. Kind of
Yes.
has to at this point, right?
Yes, it does.
They've already talked about it. They've jokingly advertised it before before everything happened this year.
That wasn't a joke. That was supposed to happen according
I know.
to people.
Apparently, according to who would believe about anything anymore? It's wrestling. But you could do this at SummerSlam is going to be 2 nights. You could make the second, if you're trying to make SummerSlam feel Mania big, you can do it there. Do it on the second night of a SummerSlam. The argument of doing it at a Saudi show is also there. However, I think they want to make sure that this is done on American soil, because that's where they know they're going to get the most fans, viewership, everything, right? Like primetime slot's going to be late. They don't want it happening
Perhaps
at the
a
main event.
Saturday
Hey,
night.
there's a show in prime time.
Saturday night.
Yeah, specifically
in
on
New
a
York.
Saturday night. Yeah. I'm just saying they could do it there. They could do it anywhere but Mania. I get why they want to do it at Mania because it's WrestleMania, but there are bigger things
I'm just
to
not
do.
waiting. I'm just not waiting for
Okay,
that.
so what's the story been?
I mean, I will because I have to, but I mean,
The story has been this: Roman was the tribal chief, had the title, had it all, right? The Rock comes in, and I remember when The Rock came in, this feeling of, oh man, is this going to be like a power struggle thing when they first started working together? Because The Rock is The Rock. He's not underneath anybody. That's just The Rock. Like, The Rock is on top. He's the final boss, right? So everyone
the
thought,
final boss.
so yeah, the final boss. What you gonna do now, Mama Rhodes? But the whole thing is like Roman was at first with Cody. Cody beat Roman first, and then The Rock is the final boss. He came out after and was like, "I'm coming for you. I am coming for you. I am coming for your title." Meanwhile, Roman Reigns had his championship, lost it. Had his Ulafala, lost it. Had his family, lost it. This is a story of Roman Reigns getting back everything that he had, but this time as a hero, as a babyface. So he's gotten his family back. He's in the process of getting his family back. Jimmy, Jay, Cody, just kidding. Sammy, kidding again. Next step, getting the Ulafala back. War Games, probably beat the Bloodline, probably pin Solo, probably get the Ulafala back. What's next? The title he lost. However, there's also a chance that The Rock gets involved and tries to say he's the tribal chief, that he's the bigger guy. He is the one. He is the person that puts food on their table. He's the Hollywood movie star. If it wasn't for him, the family would not have transcended wrestling, would not have transcended into Hollywood, and transcended into pop culture, period. The whole reason Roman ever became the tribal chief was because of The Rock. Rock walked so Roman could run, basically. So at that point, the story...
Like Rock ran so Roman could walk.
That's true.
To be fair.
But here's the thing. But my point being, though, like, Roman could get everything back, but he still doesn't have the true vindication of being the head of the table until he beats The Rock. That's the end of the story, in my opinion, is that Roman needs to claim his throne at the top of the family. And The Rock is the only person that leaves the question mark of, is Roman really the top of the family? That's the story, how I think it'll play out.
Unfortunately, we've gone past SummerSlam already. Because we need a big stadium show that isn't Mania, but we're out of stadium shows, and they're not
SummerSlam 2025,
and they're not doing this at Rumble. However, like I said, I just don't. I think Patience is wearing thin.
2-night SummerSlam, New Jersey, 2025.
Patience is wearing thin, man. I don't really think they need to wait.
I think you're the only person that's saying that.
I think I think they can strike. That's just what I'm thinking. Like I think they can just kind of strike and kind of knock out a bunch of bones at once. Unless they want to put Rock and Roman at some point in night 1, and maybe that gives Roman a chance to challenge for the belt and he can do it all at once. But I don't really want to. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just truly I'm just trying to get this Rock Roman thing and this Cody Rock thing out of the way because I want this trilogy. That's what I want.
And I'm almost thinking in terms of the way I described the story of Roman getting everything back, I'm almost thinking The Rock has to win that title for Roman to then win the title from The Rock. And I'm not opposed to this.
And then Cody win the title back again?
No, Roman wins the title from Rock.
No. And then Cody
get it back?
Get the title back from Roman.
Could happen.
Oh, so you're saying there's not an... So you're...
Could, because it hasn't happened yet, and it's the future. We're booking here.
No, don't be like that.
What do you mean? Don't be like that. That's just, I'm not gonna make declarations like that.
No. Because you're like, because Rock will win the belt, and then like, come on, finish the booking. Don't give me Don't give me none of that.
No, that's what I have. There is no finish. The story is never finished.
The story.
The story is never finished.
End the
story,
chapter then.
The story continues. I did.
So
the Rock wins the title, and then Roman goes on a quest to get the tribe back.
Nobody wants to do that book.
So it'd be Rock wins belt, Roman wins belt from Rock,
and where does Cody go? To Raw.
Who cares?
Well, we've
or back to SmackDown because this will all be on Raw.
Sometimes I feel like it's Groundhog Day when we talk about this because I swear we've talked about this specific situation like 3 times already in the past 2 weeks. But
so much.
The thing is like, does Cody win it back after? Because like the trilogy is what people are thinking about.
Okay, that's what other people are thinking. That's not what I'm thinking. You know, like I get that's what people are thinking, but like. I feel like it's bowing down to people that aren't in the writer's room, that aren't booking the show. Fuck it. Let's talk about what we want to get done.
I'm sure. It's just like,
whatever.
I don't know. Well, sure. Rock winning the title might actually happen, and if it does, that's fine. That's their decision. It's their company. They're paying people to write the show. They're not fucking paying us. That's for sure.
They're paying The Rock for The Rock to get paid. Wait, that's not what I meant.
Capitalism.
Rock's
quite literally what having a job is.
To get paid.
You know, Tom Brady just got named a minority stake owner.
I had to pay taxes as a teacher. Like, y'all, tax money goes to me.
Yeah, your tax money to go right back out. Anyway, like, there's like. Tom Brady just got named a minority stakeholder in the Las Vegas Raiders, meaning he cannot play football professionally anymore because he is now a owner of a team.
Can he bet?
No, I don't think so. Actually, I don't know about that. Who knows? But my point being is if if a specific thing like that could stop Tom Brady, what can that please stop, Dwayne? Please.
It's okay. Like it's okay.
I'm starting to think that I disagree with you guys on this one. I think I wouldn't, depending on the story in the match. Because in the past I didn't want Rock to wrestle, but now I'm like, with him doing the character work of his life right now.
That's fair. That's fair. He is entertaining. What he's doing is genuinely some of the best character work he's done in years. However, I don't know if I can stomach a Dwayne The Rock Johnson title reign.
I don't need a run
in 2024.
We did it. Remember when we did it 12 years ago and we didn't, and we said he was too old then?
If it's Raw on Netflix, it's only like 3 months from there until Mania, and it's the best time of television, and it's the time he'll actually be on TV.
And then he'll drop it at Mania, and we'll never talk about it again.
Correct.
In that case, we're good.
Great. Yusuf approves of my story.
I still don't approve of wrestling. So again, the conversation now turns into
fickle.
The conversation turns into the bell is gonna ring.
Can the conversation be about NXT now?
NXT was a thing.
Yusuf,
there was a wheel.
They booked this match just for Yusuf.
There was no ninjas.
Which
3
match?
matches were booked for Halloween Havoc.
Oh.
And one of them in particular is one of Yusuf's dream matches he never knew he wanted and has now. The match is a tag team match. Julia.
Did I miss this part?
Yes.
I was
probably
watching.
It was literally last night that they
I had
they
it
booked
on.
this.
Oh, you're talking about that. I thought you were talking about
like the specific wheel part. I'm missing
the
this part.
tables, ladders, and
I found
scares.
the tables, ladders, and scares part. What does that mean?
Who knows?
It's a TLC match, but Halloween themed.
Oh,
they're gonna do.
we have
was
to?
it?
Why
Was
are they
it,
so PG?
Was it Hell in a
They don't have
Cell
to be this
20?
It's not PG. It's that it's a Halloween themed show. It's
I didn't
Halloween
see this
Havoc.
shit in WCW, and
Who cares?
Which is who they
WCW went out
bought
of
it
business.
from.
There's a reason. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, he's right. There's a reason they.
I
went
only
out of
say that
business.
because everybody that was there, the majority of people got jobs after that. So that's
also
good.
a lot of people in WCW were very much in it for themselves. Lest we forget, right? So,
But
and
as far as I know, it was only these 3 matches that were booked for the show, and I'm correct. This one is the Yusuf Dream match. It's the Yusuf Rosh Classic Tag Team match. Julia and Stephanie Vaquer versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. Team
Wait, hold
Yusuf
on, my babies are in
versus
this,
Team
though.
Emil.
I was gonna say,
Are you-
hold up a second.
Are you Team Yusuf or are you Team Emil?
I am so I didn't know I needed this, but hell yeah.
Wait, explain to me though. There's a wheel involved in this. I missed this very.
So when
important part.
matches
Oh
are-
no. So,
so-
the wheel was something different.
When
So,
matches are booked for the show, they spin a wheel for the title matches. It's called Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal. And
it
for
figures out the
it's a
So it's
gimmick
raw
for
roulette.
Yeah.
it's a gimmick for Halloween Havoc though to determine the pay-per-view
So
matches.
what happened?
So what's
for
the
reference,
match? Or we have to wait until.
I think the tag match is just gonna be a tag match.
Just
by
a tag
itself.
match.
Nothing because the title's not on the line, right? But the reason I'm bringing this up is because the other big match, specifically Oba Femi versus Tony D'Angelo for the North American title.
That's my main event.
And if you haven't figured it out already, or if you've been living under a rock, Oba Femi's not going into this as the North American champion, and I'm still angry.
And he's gonna kill him.
And he's gonna kill Tony D'Angelo. So they, Oba's in the ring, they're talking yada yada yada, and Oba's like, I'm taking my title back. You can't stop me. Ha ha ha. And as he's leaving, he goes, but under a stipulation, and then walks over to the top of the ramp, and there's just a big old wheel that looks like a saw blade there, and Oba's like staring daggers at Tony D'Angelo as he just spins the wheel without looking at it, and it lands on tables, ladders, and scares.
So you really loved Raw Roulette back in the day.
No, I actually hated Raw Roulette back in the day. Despised it, actually. That era of Raw, I don't like thinking about.
Raw Roulette was a big hit.
It was a big
The
hit.
Eric Bischoff one. The Eric Bischoff one.
Yes, the Eric Bischoff one was fun. Everything, yeah. Huh.
I also liked the fan voting editions of Raw as well, when the fans
yeah.
obviously voted but
The
never got what they
quote-unquote
They
wanted.
never got what they actually wanted.
Yeah.
Rip
but-
Cyber Sunday.
Wait though. So this brings up a good point because Tony D'Angelo does still have the family.
He does.
They are barred from ringside.
Yeah, they will not
Never
be
mind.
ringside for this match.
And it's a
'Cause I was
ladder
gonna
match.
say, and I was gonna say, because who does Oba have? Where are the ninjas?
No one. And Tony D'Angelo will probably win because it is a TLC match, meaning the way to win is to go up and climb the ladder and grab the title, which means
Yeah.
D'Angelo can win and not pin Obafemi.
Because
Unless
Oba
just-
is going up.
Oba-
That's the plan.
Unless
not going
Oba
up.
just raises
No,
his
no, no,
hand
no,
up
not
and the
up,
title
up.
comes down to him.
I mean, like to the main event.
Oba's going to the
No.
NXT belt. Yeah.
Because the other match, I do believe Ethan Page won a triple threat.
Yes.
He did. He beat
And-
Wesley and Javon Evans.
So we're running it back
Cool.
again. Cool. I mean, we're gonna have Tyler versus Trick Williams.
Tyler versus the son of Booker T.
My fucking
Settle
boy,
down.
Ethan Page, is so going to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan Page is about to get waxed.
I'm
Yeah.
so sad about it. But listen,
That's all right. You came in and won the title off rip. So
For real.
he can eat some shit.
I won the title in the shortest amount of time for any wrestler in WWE.
Which is still insane.
40 days, I believe, was the record. 40 days is now the record.
So it is what it is.
It'll be a good feud. I think now it'll actually be a feud and not just, oh, this guy just got here and now he has a title match. And then it was, oh, this guy won the title in a fluke fatal 4-way where I wasn't involved in the decision. And now it's actually a feud. And I'm excited about that. And that will be a Devil's Playground match.
So what does that mean?
Hardcore match. Falls Count Anywhere rules.
Do we have to do it this way?
Why is this a bad thing?
It's just a little.
I don't
corn.
understand why this is
It's
a
little
bad thing.
corn.
It's
a little
not corn.
It's a little
I don't
candy
think
corn.
I actually don't
Like
think
my
it's
Halloween. That was a great Halloween reference. Laugh, asshole.
no, because it's not necessary. It's not relevant. It's undeserving. I think this is interesting. I think makes a pay-per-view
Insert
themed.
use of sign here.
It makes a pay-per-view themed without calling it like NXT roulette. I think it's good. And also my bold prediction is that the women's tag match will main event the show. Why not? Fuck it. Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Julia Stephanie Vaquera. These are the 4 horsewomen of this era of NXT. I've said it already. I'll say it again. This will be the next 4 horsewomen of WWE.
Normally I would be like
I'm a man of culture.
tag match with no belts, main eventing a show. However, that is the correct answer. Specifically because of the 4 women that were just mentioned. That is the correct answer.
I was gonna say. Also, we just did this.
Well, yeah. The other thing too, like
That's why I started laughing.
the other thing too is like, you want to like Trick and Ethan. They don't need a main event because they can still put on a banker like middle of the card or open the show, right?
So it's gonna be a lot of murder, and then just normal women's wrestling.
oh no, that's gonna be murder.
I know that's the
Oh
problem.
is it a devil's? Wait, no, is this a gimmick? Is there a gimmick?
No, we said that. There's no stipulation for the women's tag.
There's no gimmick, but you have 2 of NXT's best versus 2 of the hardest hitting women's wrestlers in the world.
We also have time for there to potentially be a stipulation added.
Yeah. So there could be violence. Well, actually, that's a lie. There could be objects involved. Right now, it's just going to be a lot of violence. Like Julia's going to hit everyone with a V trigger. Stephanie Vaquera is going to kill everyone. It's going to be great. Roxanne's going to hit a pop rocks on a table into a
Cora
table.
Jade is hopefully not gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
It's on October 27th.
That
So
would
we
be
have
next Saturday.
one more episode of NXT until then.
Is that what it is? 27th?
Yep.
It would be next Saturday. I saw
Yeah.
that date at first, and I was like, "Damn, that's a long way away." And then I realized, oh wait, it's
That's
October
close.
15th
That's a
right now.
Sunday?
It's a Sunday, yeah.
It's a Sunday, yeah.
It's a week from Sunday.
Okay.
And it's at the Giant Center in Hershey, PA.
NXT doing things the right way, making me stay up late on a Sunday.
No, that's when we record VWP.
Yeah, I know. How dare they?
Come
I
on.
know.
Well, that means we
I-
just have to watch it while we do the podcast.
a reaction.
Oh, God.
Not like that hasn't stopped us from. Not like
I kind of
I was
want to
gonna say
actually
we watch things anyway. Like I'm literally.
I kind of want to actually watch the show, though. Like, actually watch
I
it.
know, so do I. Like, but
Yusuf has to watch his dream match play out.
I know I have to watch the greatest tag matches I never thought would happen.
But yeah, it's Halloween Havoc season, which means it's the wheel season. Yusuf is happy about it. Yusuf, if you could spin the wheel and get a match type, what would your match type be?
Why? Wait,
and why?
what?
Just go with me on this.
Sorry, I'm laughing
I'm
at
trying to think
else.
of something like punny. What's it? Oh, I got it. An Extreme Ghouls match.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Why did I just watch somebody on AEW get dragged by their feet?
Oh, yeah, there's some like shit going on right now on AEW, which I do want to talk about for like 5 minutes when we're done with all the WWE stuff, if we have time. Because like this episode of Dynamite got intense.
Yeah, I mean, like,
this whole episode's a side quest.
Nikita Lyons is back. Cool, whatever. You might want it, you might not.
Oh, I forgot that part we were talking about.
Listen, the professor is back. Everyone needs to sit down at their desks, take out their notebooks, their pens, their pencils, and throw up the U, Chase. U is back, baby. Andre Chase returned and saved Riley Osborne from an attack from Ridge Holland. Fuck you, Ridge Holland, and long live the U. That's what I think. Damn,
so much hate for Ridge.
I mean, no, I like
He
Ridge.
didn't mean to take everybody out.
Ridge is doing the work of his career. Gene Snitsky, or otherwise, the modern age Gene Snitsky is Ridge Holland. It wasn't his fault. Yeah, he.
Whoa, why did I just put that together? Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the story there. Let's get Andre versus Ridge Holland at Halloween Havoc in a classroom.
Please don't kill me match.
A classroom death match.
In a don't break my neck match.
In a classroom death match. That man better watch himself for that 3-hole puncher and the stapler and the pencil sharpener.
Staplers do hurt. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
Andre Chase is gonna...
How would you do a pencil sharpener spot?
Stick a finger in there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Stick like a pinky.
How can y'all put your... Y'all have tiny fingers, man.
I don't.
Pinky.
These are big wrestlers, man. How are they gonna put their pinky?
Get one of those fancy pencil sharpeners. They can like spin the wheel like a rotary dial for the phone, and like it's a larger hole. You know what I mean?
Those are
like
old ones. Those
are old as shit, is what those are.
Those are older than us.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen some newer pencil sharpeners that are you can adjust the size of the object you are inserting.
Those are the schools with money. Please refer me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding. I love my job.
For the record, let me remind everyone we are talking about pencil sharpeners and nothing else.
This is a wrestling podcast.
Also, Emil, as not to out you here for your career outside of the pod, but as a teacher, what would you say is the most painful classroom object that they could use in that match?
Ooh.
I mean, there's the good old classic yardstick.
Oh, the yardstick.
I'd say a stapler still.
Staplers
hurt.
I think staplers.
I've stapled my finger.
Hear me out. Y'all ever pinch any body part in like the rings of a binder?
Yes.
That shit hurts.
Yeah.
That shit hurts,
bro.
That shit does
oh
hurt.
My god, that shit hurts. That could be a thing.
Imagine that as a spot.
Yo, it could be.
Honestly, that's a good Pete Dunne spot. That's a good finger spot. That's a good Pete Dunne spot. Where's Pete Dunne when you need him?
On Raw, losing to Sheamus.
Oh.
Being called Butch.
Again?
Oh.
Yep.
Kind of.
They brought
As a joke.
Oh.
The gimmick is he's not Butch anymore, and everyone's like, haha, Butch. Haha.
Oh.
I'm so funny. I'm so likable.
I'm so funny and likable, but
yeah. It's really dumb. Anyway, thanks for humoring me there. Yeah. You want to talk about AEW? Sure.
We saw guts on a cake.
Yeah. Yeah, Jack Perry spilled guts on a birthday cake for Kenny Omega, and then
Olivia Rodrigo cake.
And then, shocking, Okada called Kenny Omega a bitch. Not like he's done that to anyone else before.
Oh, I see the cake. That's very graphic looking. Wow.
Is
nasty. Swearing in AEW.
Swearing. Ooh. The big story going into this episode of Dynamite was obviously the fallout from Wrestle Dream, which was this past weekend, and Jon Moxley's like hostile takeover of AEW and having the title. And there's two things I do want to bring up here. The first, actually, three things really. The first thing is from earlier tonight on Dynamite when he attacked all the babyfaces like Orange Cassidy, the Dark Order. The Dark Order is going to be relevant again. That's for my after point. But Jon Moxley says, make no mistake about it. If you are involved in any way, shape, or form with All Elite Wrestling, you are under attack. If you didn't like what happened on Saturday night, if you don't like this, you need to understand this is the cost of doing business. Now, earlier in the night, just before the show aired, or just when the show aired, there was a vignette with the Blackpool Combat Club that aired of them like on a truck riding off into the night, and Moxley cutting one of the coolest promos I've heard. This run of his, by the way, has been chef's kiss of like promo cutting. It's been so good. But the gist of what he was talking about is he has a dream where AEW could be where people can achieve what they want, but he feels like AEW has become a place where egos have gotten out of control, celebrating when there's no need to celebrate, dancing and partying when there's no need to dance and partying, and he's getting sick of it. He says, I will burn down the forest to plant a new one. I will do what has to be done. We will do what has to be done. We can see a better future and we will make it happen. If you want to come with us, you can come with us, and if you don't, run while you can. What's the need to know? Simple. What is the new paradigm? It's very simple. You work for me now. So there's definitely this, again, like anti AEW thing going on, or like the culture of AEW that Jon Moxley's on, even though considering he's like the man, but he's like the heart and soul of AEW. And when the show was ending tonight, Blackpool Combat Club attacked all babyfaces again. And as the show was ending and they're backstage, the Dark Order and Top Flight were cutting promos being like, yo, we're getting sick of this. Like, you want to run your mouths? You want to run this place like you own this place? No, we're not standing for this anymore. So this is where we're starting to see that Jon Moxley ideology of like, we're going to push you to be better. We want you. We know you can all succeed, but we're not going to do it holding hands and partying all the time. No, none of that shit anymore, right? So now we're starting to see a more aggressive side of the AEW baby faces coming out. The next few weeks, I think, are going to be really interesting. We've got a bunch of like in-faction fights that might be happening, and Tyler wants to say something, so go.
Murder.
Oh no, Top Flight and Dark Order. What are we gonna do, guys? Oh no. Fuck that, dude. They're so boring, and then they're nothing.
I actually hope the Dark Order does something good again. They were so good long ago.
They're just the first victims, let's be real.
Yeah.
But when you said I can't, the way that they're describing the whole, like, the culture of everything at AEW needs to change, paradigm shift, you work for me now. Fuck, man, they're really going to bring Shane back to work with the Elite, and the Elite are going to be faces.
It's the Elite Nope, it's the Elite Blackpool Combat Club.
No, at this point, I don't think so.
Well, Elite just stood there and watched.
Elite did just stand there and watch while BCC attacked everyone, and they act like some people went to the Elite and were like, "Are you just going to stand for this? Like, they're destroying your company." And they're like,
They haven't gone after the Elite yet. Once they go after the Elite, everything will change.
There might be a reason.
There might be a reason, though.
Yeah, because they're at the top.
AEW is pretty obvious with their shits.
Yeah.
Are they?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
For the most part.
It gives 2019 WWE.
Yeah.
Oof.
You kind of have a feeling.
Oh,
like,
and you guys want me to watch this? You guys want me to watch that?
You know, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
But it's more violent. It is
more violent.
It has.
I'm happy with
spots.
my Punk McIntyre Hell in a Cell match.
With the beads.
I liked Hangman Swerve. That didn't feel like WWE at all. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like, of course the Elite isn't going to care because they're the Elite. They're at the top. Nothing affects them until it's at their level. And if BCC works their way up to the top, then the Elite feel threatened. And let's be real, the BCC are fighting for control of what the Elite now controls. The Elite's gonna have to stand up for it at some point. I really don't think they're working together. And if they do,
but what a twist!
That would be a twist. That would be a twist
Corporate
if they were actually working together
twist.
the whole time.
I can't help but think with all the photos of Shane McMahon and the Bucks together, that Shane is gonna be go in and help the Bucks.
Oh lordy!
Yeah, I can't help but think about that. But that's for me.
Shane McMahon wearing an AEW shirt. Shane.
Imagine he came in and they no-sold him like, it's Shane?
It's going to be interesting how the next little while of AEW goes, because like Full Gear is the next big show. Shane Brandon.
That's such an ugly name.
Full Gear is obviously the next big show, and that's where they like to have a lot of major feuds come to a close before the new year. Well, they have World's End too, but...
Still going to that.
Yes, you are.
By the way, they're very overtime right now.
Who? Ada? Are they still on air?
This Christian match is still going.
Oh shit! Tony don't give a fuck. That man has too much
their
money.
Network.
Yeah, exactly right. So, where was I going with this? Right. The next few months going the next month going into Full Gear is going to be interesting. I think this is where we see the baby faces deal with Blackpool Combat Club, but it's not going to end there. I think they're going to carry it on. World's End is going to happen, And I've been talking about the whole, if they're going to take down the Elite, you got to do it in one night. You got to have them all lose the titles on the same night, right? Bucks have to lose the belts. Jack Perry's got to lose the belt. Okada, I don't know what the hell they're doing with that Continental thing. I know the next Classic is at the end of the year, so maybe he I don't know. Anyway, but then that's going to happen. Then you have the Callis family. They're starting to get involved with a lot of other titles now, especially now that Takeshita has the international title, which, love that. But we're starting to see what to me feels like peak New Japan when they were having a faction war with like everybody involved. LIJ was getting involved in each other's business. Okada and Chaos was getting involved in everyone's business. And Bullet Club had everything. So LIJ and Chaos are here like, why are they in charge? Why are they running we should be, get them. Let's go. Go. We gotta do all this. And everything's getting thrown together. What this ends up leading to, I don't know. I think this is going to set the tone for when Kenny Omega comes back. And I think as far as everyone's concerned, he's not siding with the Elite on this. He's probably going to be, with the AEW faithful, if you will, who's not definitely siding with BCC. Like, there's a lot of intertwining stories that could possibly go on here, and there's a lot of individuals that we're not taking into account right now. Kenny Omega's one of them. I think Hangman Page is also one of them.
This can only end in one way.
A shark cage.
Blood and guts.
Yeah, probably.
War games.
Nope, wrong company.
Don't
Wrong
care.
company.
Wrestle war.
Except it'll be like 15 people. Oh, that would be a nightmare.
Blood
Yeah.
and guts.
I don't know. I'm right now. I'm not complaining about what's going on in AEW. The fact that Jon Moxley is cutting incredible promos, I'm okay with everything going on right now. Let's just let it cook. Let's figure it out from there. If this does lead to Shane, I'm definitely going to be a little annoyed, but we'll see. Right?
Fuck it.
Like-
Bring back the triple cage match.
Dude, I told you that thing was real. Y'all all tried to tell me it
No,
wasn't.
I didn't. No, I never said it wasn't real.
I knew it
I'm
was
just
real.
here.
That shit sits in my memory. That is one of those weird wrestling facts that sits in my brain.
Big,
because what the
big
fuck?
cage on top of
Anything-
little cage, and then little cage on top of that, and littler cage on top of it.
Yeah, that's
It
wild.
exists. It's.
You think
the dumbest thing
AEW
I've
is
ever
going to do a
seen.
Punjabi prison match?
Nope, it's copyrighted.
Oh, is it really? Is
Try
it
again.
really?
Absolutely.
I guess so.
Absolutely, that's copyrighted. Try again.
God damn.
Make it
Oh,
not
well.
racist.
Hey,
Yeah, maybe
Rico's
not
back.
racist.
Rico's back, guys. Random AEW fact. Rico's back.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Who cares?
And he's paired up with MXM. That's perfect.
That is actually perfect.
Mhm.
I know they wrestled the Acclaimed on the Wrestle Dream pre-show.
They lost to the Acclaimed.
That's a shame. Not that they lost, but that the Acclaimed is on the pre-show again. Like,
I know.
God
I love
damn it.
that they had a payoff to Rico and Billy Gunn, though. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, after like
That was fun.
25 years.
It's fun.
Something about the Acclaimed getting fucked like that after their little elite feud that they probably should have won
They definitely should have won.
is a little dirty to me.
Yeah.
I honestly
I
don't know
feel
if they
dirty.
should have won that. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel dirty.
I'm fine with the. This is the first feud that I'm actually happy and not happy, but I'm fine that the Elite won it.
Because what was the point of them going on their little tirade all summer for them not to lose?
For you to get invested.
Yeah.
You got invested. You got worked, son.
Rude.
God, I feel like Tim right now. I feel like Emil right now.
Rude.
You got worked. Happens to us all.
Not a great work, though.
No.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time we begin to wind down this absolutely chaotic and unhinged
What a
episode.
fucking weird episode.
Oh, I
been fun.
forgot. I forgot to even talk about the best news. You know what? Actually, finish the episode.
Wait, no, it's the best
No,
news.
no,
we
no,
got to
no,
hear
no.
it now.
Yeah, what's your
that'll
best
be my
news
best in wrestling. That'll be my best in wrestling.
Understandable. My best in wrestling this week is Karrion Kross, because seriously, if he keeps this up, he could get a lot better and become one of my favorites, because that one moment alone was fucking hilarious. And it's making me want to actually tune into his social media promos, because he cooks on social media. And as Emil yawns,
tired.
I really do think there's potential for that. I hope that they allow Karrion to continue to be himself, because it's working, I think.
It's my
Who's
bedtime.
next?
Guys, the week's not even half over. Well, I guess it is now because fucking AEW just ended. I don't know. Oba was on my TV screen. That's always a good time. Did I watch the promo? No. Well, I did, but it was on mute. I don't know.
All right, we'll count that.
Oh, wait, the Jimmy
Oba.
J stuff. That was the best in wrestling. Duh.
There you go.
Bloodline.
Bloodline
my best-
Glazer.
Bloodline Glazer.
Ones.
My best in wrestling, you would think, was the announcement of the women's tag match for NXT regarding Julia, Stephanie, and it would be if not 2 days ago, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship is coming home because Zack Sabre Jr. is your IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes!
Finally!
Let's fucking go, dude.
That is the best. That's not even mine. That should be the best in wrestling this week.
My fucking
Finally.
boy. My fucking
I don't
guy.
even watch New Japan.
What?
I mean, it's hard to keep up
Don't
with it.
even
'cause,
watch New Japan.
know, but like, we gotta be happy for Zach.
Bro, New Japan is on at the ass crack of dawn. I
yeah.
ain't watching shit.
Yeah, same. I just keep up with Twitter. That's how I keep up nowadays. But like, you can't Zach. Oh man, won the G1. He's only the second foreigner to win it in this modern era after Kenny Omega. And then straight up, when he wins the G1, he's like, "Yeah, I don't want the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. I want to win
What
the title."
a fucking idiot.
Wait, did you forget about Jay White?
Jay White's never won the G1.
Oh, I was thinking the actual title, not the G1.
No,
Sorry.
Jay White's never won. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Jay
I'm
White's never won
stupid.
for some reason, I'm like, did I forget that Jay White won the G1? I'm like, did Jay White win a G1? No, he didn't. But Zack Sabre Jr. is like, hey, I want to have my title match in October, right before we go to England, because I want to go to my home country as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. And everyone's like, that's a fucking stupid idea. You're just gonna break tradition like that. And then he fucking won. So now he's going into England next week against Sonata to defend the title
We're just
as champ.
We're just giving everybody their hometown
Yeah,
reception this year.
But
Listen,
the
bro,
hope,
he called a shot corner pocket.
yeah, the hope is that he will be. I'm assuming he will be world champion going into the main event of Wrestle Kingdom in January. And he's also hoping. He said this publicly. I think after he won the title, he hopes that he is still world heavyweight champion in 2 years' time when Hiroshi Tanahashi has his final New Japan Pro Wrestling match.
Ha!
Nah.
So, who knows? Anyway,
Nah.
not the point right now. We can think about later. So right now is Zack Sabre Jr. is world champ in New Japan, and all is good in the world. Except we're never going to get him versus Danielson, champ versus champ. Now, I'm kind of... Oh, well. Oof.
You know what everybody that's listening or watching should be thinking about? How they can support their favorite unhinged wrestling podcast, Vacant Wrestling Podcast. That'd be us if you were curious. If you like what you watched today or listened to today, you can do multiple things. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you can go right down there, click that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, leave a comment as well. Let us know what your favorite part of the podcast was. Let me know which one of my or Emil or Yusuf's takes was the shittiest or lamest take.
Yo, y'all
so we
be
can
hating me on
argue with
Instagram,
you.
and I love it. I
What?
love it. I love it. Y'all be hating me on TikTok. Y'all hate that I'm right. It's
No,
fine
they
though.
hate that you're dumb.
It's fine though.
Damn.
Actually, a lot of the takes I've seen some agree. I've seen about 50-50.
There's some
'Cause
agreeing.
some of my takes actually are like make sense and also just are the good logical choice, and then
Yeah.
some of them could be a little bit far out.
For sure. But yeah, make sure you do all those things. Hit the bell icon. Make sure you're notified when we drop more videos. Follow us on TikTok too. We post a lot of TikToks. We just haven't recently.
Hold on, what's the boy's name? Keep going. Stall for me.
The boy's name? What? Whose name? Who's the boy?
Stall for me.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, follow us on TikTok. We post semi-regularly as much as we can. With one editor at a time, because Yusuf or myself will edit videos one at a time. It's rare that we're both working at the same time. It's rare that we're both work at all. So, yeah, that's one thing. We have, work as in this job. We have other jobs. This isn't really a job, but anyway, maybe one day.
So
yeah.
shout out Will Jones, because I think he did agree with me. And
Okay.
fuck you, get wrecked at 69. for your name.
They were
and
hilarious.
for disagreeing.
They were hilarious.
For those of you, if you actually do listen to the pod, hi, hello.
We acknowledge you.
You've been warned.
Thanks for
Man's keeping
acknowledging us.
receipts.
I got receipts. I have my
Man's keeping
notifications.
receipts, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Love y'all both.
Yeah.
But yeah, also follow us on Instagram, follow us on X, or as we like to call it, Twitter, because obviously it's better that way.
As we like to call it, threads.
Bruh. We ain't going on Threads. That's just a joke. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this week, y'all, or listening. We hope you have a great rest of your week. Hopefully we will have a second pod this weekend. We've been talking about potentially having one where Yusuf and I will not be there. It'll be a meal solo shit take extravaganza. Just kidding.
Oh, God. It will not be an hour and a half. I promise you I can't do an hour and a half.
It'll
by
just be
myself.
Tim. It'll just
You
be
cannot
Emil
do 90 minutes by
complaining for
myself.
It will be
35
Tim,
minutes.
It will be Tim in his car.
Yeah.
But y'all, thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Take it easy.